Zero sun, harvest every 20 days. Yeah, you heard that right. While your neighbors are out there babying their tomatoes under grow lights like they're raising orchids for the queen, I'm harvesting fresh greens in my basement, in the dark, with basically zero effort. And no, I'm not talking about some sketchy operation. I'm talking about legitimate, mouth-watering crops that literally prefer the dark. Mother Nature's little rebels, if you will. Welcome back to Plant Care Secret, where we share the garden hacks your grandma never told you about, because honestly, she probably didn't know either. Let me take you back to last November. Picture this. I'm staring at my empty guest room. You know, that room that somehow accumulates boxes, old exercise equipment, and broken dreams. The sun barely touches it. It's basically a cave with carpet. My partner looks at me and says, maybe we should finally do something with this space. And like the garden-obsessed person I am, I had an epiphany. What if this useless, sunlight-deprived dungeon could become a year-round food factory? Spoiler alert, it worked. Better than it had any right to. Now, 3 months later, I'm pulling fresh greens while everyone else is watching their outdoor gardens turn into frozen wastelands. And my electricity bill barely moved. We're talking pocket change here, people. So smash that subscribe button for Plant Care Secret, because today I'm sharing the 5 crops that turned my dark room into a harvest machine, and how you can do it too, even if you live in a closet. Before we dive in, let's address the elephant in the room. How the hell do plants grow without light? Simple. They don't need light. They need energy. And some plants are basically the vampires of the vegetable world. They've evolved to thrive in low light or no light conditions by storing energy differently or growing so fast that minimal light is enough. Now, let's get to the good stuff. Number 1, mushrooms, the gateway drug to dark gardening. Oh, you thought mushrooms were vegetables? Cute. They're actually fungi, which means they laugh at your pathetic sun-worshipping plants. Mushrooms are the absolute rock stars of dark growing. They literally prefer it. In fact, if you give them too much light, they'll underperform like a teenager asked to do chores. Here's what happened when I started. I bought a simple oyster mushroom kit online for about 20 bucks. Followed the instructions, which basically amounted to spray it with water and ignore it. And within 10 days, I had clusters of mushrooms exploding out of the bag like something from a sci-fi movie. The first harvest, over 2 pounds, from one kit. In darkness, my mind was blown, my stir-fries were elevated, my smugness was unbearable. Why mushrooms work? Zero light needed. Seriously. Grow them in a closet. Harvest in 7-14 days, depending on variety. Oyster, shiitake, and lion's mane all thrive indoors. They actually taste like something, unlike those sad supermarket buttons. The secret? Mushrooms feed on substrate, basically decomposing organic matter. They're nature's recyclers. Give them moisture, decent air circulation, and darkness, and they'll reward you with gourmet fungi that would cost you $30 a pound at Whole Foods. And listen, if you screw this up, you have to try really hard. Mushrooms are more forgiving than your ex. Number 2, microgreens, tiny greens, massive flavor. If mushrooms are the gateway drug, microgreens are the addiction. These little overachievers are the infant versions of regular vegetables. Think baby kale, arugula, radish, broccoli. You harvest them when they're just a few inches tall. which means you're not waiting months for a payoff. In my darkroom setup, I'm talking 7 to 14 days from seed to plate. It's so fast, it feels illegal. Here's the thing about microgreens. They store energy in their seeds. That means for the first crucial growth phase, they don't need much light at all. By the time they'd normally start demanding sunlight, you've already harvested them. I started with a simple plastic tray, some organic potting soil, and a packet of mixed microgreen seeds. Sprinkled them densely, and I mean densely, like you're seasoning a steak. Watered them, covered the tray with another tray to keep it dark, and waited. 5 days later, I peeked under the cover and nearly cried. Tiny green soldiers standing at attention, ready for duty. Why microgreens are insane. Harvest in 7 to 14 days, yes, really. Packed with nutrients, like 40 times more than mature plants. Minimal space needed. One shelf can feed you all month. Varieties like radish and arugula have this peppery punch that makes restaurant chefs jealous. Pro tip, stack your trays. Seriously, microgreens don't need light until they're about to harvest, so you can grow multiple trays in the same footprint. It's like vertical farming. But you're not a billionaire with a warehouse. The first time I added homegrown microgreens to my eggs, I felt like a Michelin star chef. Were they better than store-bought? Objectively, yes. Did I tell everyone about it? Aggressively, yes. Number 3, sprouts, the zero-effort champion. Let me tell you about sprouts because they're the plant equivalent of a participation trophy. Except you actually win. Sprouts grow in complete darkness. No soil, no lights, just water, a jar, and the sheer will to not kill something incredibly hard to kill. I'm talking mung beans, alfalfa, broccoli sprouts, lentils. Basically any seed that's down to germinate is fair game. My setup? A mason jar, a mesh lid, and a dark cabinet. That's it. I wish I was joking about how simple this is, but I'm not. The process? Soak seeds overnight, drain and rinse twice a day. Keep them in the dark. Harvest in 3 to 5 days. 3 to 5 days, people. You could start sprouts on Monday and be eating them by Thursday. That's faster than most takeout delivery during a snowstorm. Why sprouts are genius. Absolute darkness required. They'll get bitter with light. Ready to eat in 3 to 5 days. Insanely nutritious. Enzymes, vitamins, protein. Cost per harvest, like 50 cents maybe. Here's my confession. I forgot about a jar of mung bean sprouts once. Found them a week later. They were still alive, still edible, still delicious. If you can't grow sprouts, you probably can't keep a pet rock alive, and that's okay. We don't judge here at Plant Care Secret, but maybe start with mushrooms. Number 4, chicory, the fancy European you didn't know you needed. All right? Let's get a little fancy. Chicory, specifically Belgian endive, is what French restaurants charge you $18 for as a side dish. And you can grow it. In the dark, in a bucket. This one blew my mind because it's a 2-step process that sounds complicated, but is actually brain-dead simple. Step 1, grow chicory roots outdoors or in pots during summer. This part does need sun, but it's regular gardening, nothing fancy. Step 2, in November, dig up those roots, cut off the leaves, and force them in darkness. Forcing sounds aggressive, but really you're just putting the roots in soil or sand, keeping them moist, and storing them somewhere dark and cool, like a basement. garage, or that guest room I mentioned. 3 to 4 weeks later, pale, beautiful, tightly packed chicory heads emerge. They're bitter, crunchy, and absurdly elegant. Why chicory is worth it. Grows entirely in darkness during forcing stage. Harvest every 3 to 4 weeks once you start. Gourmet vegetable that impresses literally everyone. Stores well and tastes incredible grilled or raw. The first time I served homegrown Belgian endive to dinner guests, they looked at me like I'd summoned it from a Parisian market using dark magic. Close enough. Number 5, rhubarb, the dark horse winner. Last but absolutely not least, forced rhubarb. If you've never heard of this, buckle up, because this is where British gardeners have been playing 4D chess, while the rest of us were planting tomatoes. Forced rhubarb is rhubarb that's been grown in complete darkness, usually in heated sheds. The darkness makes the stalks grow faster, sweeter, and more tender than regular rhubarb, which, let's be honest, can be as tough as leather sometimes. In my setup, I took rhubarb crowns, the root systems, planted them in large containers, and moved them into my dark room in late fall. Kept the temperature mild and the room pitch black. 6 weeks later, I had these beautiful, bright pink stalks growing like they were reaching for a light that didn't exist. Poetic, really. Why forced rhubarb is magic. Completely dark growing environment, sweeter and more tender than field grown. Harvest in 6 to 8 weeks during winter makes you feel like a Victorian era gardener, which is inexplicably cool. The taste difference is unreal. Regular rhubarb can be tart to the point of punishment. Forced rhubarb, it's almost delicate. You can eat it with way less sugar, which means more pie with less guilt. Now imagine this with me for a second. It's November. Outside, everything is grey, dead or dying. Your neighbours are scrolling through seed catalogues, dreaming of spring like it's some distant fantasy. But you walk into your own space. Maybe it's a basement corner, a closet, a spare room, and you're surrounded by life. Mushrooms blooming, microgreens standing at attention, sprouts ready to harvest. Chicory heads pushing through the soil. Rhubarb stalks glowing pink in the darkness. You reach down, harvest a handful of fresh greens, and head to the kitchen. In the dead of winter, you're eating food you grew yourself. Food that tastes better, costs almost nothing, and required maybe 10 minutes of effort per week. That's not just gardening. That's power. That's independence. That's walking into your kitchen like you just raided a farmer's market. Except you are the farmer's market. And your friends? They're going to lose their minds when you casually mention that you grew this stuff in a room with zero sunlight. They'll think you're a wizard. Let them think that. Lean into it. Listen, if you're not subscribed to Plant Care Secret yet, what are you even doing? We're out here sharing the secrets that turn regular people into plant-growing legends. Hit that subscribe button, smash the notification bell, and join the community of people who refuse to let winter stop them from growing fresh food. Drop a comment and tell me, which one of these crops are you going to try first? Mushrooms? Microgreens? Are you brave enough for the chicory? And if you've already tried growing in the dark, share your wins and disasters below. We're all learning here, and honestly, the failures make the best stories. Here's the truth. You don't need a sunny garden, a greenhouse, or a trust fund to grow incredible food. You just need a dark space, a little curiosity, and the willingness to try something different. These 5 crops mushrooms, microgreens, sprouts, chicory, and rhubarb, turned my forgotten room into a year-round harvest zone. And they can do the same for you. So stop waiting for spring. Stop making excuses about not having enough sun. The dark is where the magic happens. This is Plant Care Secret, reminding you that the best gardens don't always see the light. Now get out there, or rather, stay inside and start growing.